I hate my wife's cat. Tony Dahlman, I hate my wife's cat.
There's an old Chinese proverb, he who rides the tiger often finds it difficult to dismount. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, we all have learned many valuable lessons from riding the tigers in our lives. Sometimes it's best to hold on, sometimes it's wise to just jump ship. Well, the tiger in the Dahlman household is a literal orange and white feline named Oliver. And while my wife has been enamored with the cat ever since she adopted him 5 years ago, my relationship with the cat has been a little bit closer to the mathematical law of transitivity. I love my wife loves the cat, therefore, ipso facto, QED, and other things my math professor said in college in order to sound smart, I love my wife's cat. But today, I want to get something off of my chest. To paraphrase the great philosophers from Twisted Sister, I'm not going to take it anymore. I hate my wife's cat. But to show how deep my hatred is for this cat, we're going to explore some of the lessons that I have learned from riding the tiger. Our first lesson is, a cat in the way is annoying all day. Oliver has the unique characteristic of being able to lie around the house in the most inconvenient place possible. When he is sitting at the top of the stairs, he managed to position himself in such a way that it is impossible for me to go over him or around him. So in order for me to get down the stairs, I have to stand there like a goon and wait for him to leisurely make his way down the stairs. Even simple tasks such as washing the dishes or making supper is made more difficult because Oliver manages to position himself exactly 4.5 centimeters behind my left leg. If I accidentally back up and step on his tail, if I don't dislocate my ankle tripping over him, the shriek that he lets out will shatter all of the bones in the lower half of my body. I hate my wife's cat. But one of the fortunate things about having a cat that just lies around the house is that he is usually standing at the door waiting for me when I come home from work. We all lead stressful lives here in Washington, D.C., and sometimes it is nice to come home from the 9-to-5 strife with somebody who is happy to see you. But we're getting off the topic. We need to get back to our lessons, and lesson number 2 is a cat who resonates is a cat who irritates. When my wife adopted Oliver from a Columbus, Ohio pet shelter 5 years ago, the first line on the card was, orange and white domestic short-hair cat. What she failed to tell me was the second line on the card. This is the loudest cat in the world. I am constantly having to deal with the cantankerous meow, meow, meow. Getting up in the morning and trying to get dressed is met with meow, meow, meow. Even walking within 4.5 feet of his food bowl gets you a meow, meow, meow. Now you think that picking up his food bowl and giving him some food would cause the meowing to stop? No, it does not. It only makes the meowing louder and more intense. Meow! 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 I hate my wife's cat. But sometimes this meowing can be accompanied by some cute things also. He usually meows when he is following a laser pointer around the living room. He usually meows when he has wrapped himself around one of the staircase railings and he uses his back feet to kick at the railing. And he usually meows when he gets on his back and he wants you to rub his belly. But again, we're getting off point. We need to get back to our lessons, and that leads us to lesson number 3. A cat on the bed equals a cat on your head. A few years ago, I received a story from one of my coworkers that they had just adopted 2 new kittens. And it was a common practice for him to wake up in the morning with one of the kittens lying on top of his head. So when my then girlfriend of 7 months said she wanted to adopt Oliver, my senses were immediately piqued. Even though I would not propose for another 1.5 years, I knew that there was a decent chance that I would someday be living with this woman-cat combination. And Carla agreed to the rule that he would never be allowed on top of the bed. Fast forward to 2013, Oliver has full reign of the house. He is able to jump up on all of the furniture. He is able to jump up on the dining room table. And worst of all, he jumps up on the bed so that he can meow directly into my face. I hate my wife's cat. But this last year has also brought another big change in the Dahlman household. My wife received the opportunity of a lifetime to take a 12-month assignment as an agricultural advisor in the Kunduz province of Afghanistan, meaning that Oliver and I would be left home alone for an entire year. So even though I was able to talk to her fairly frequently, there were a lot of cold, lonely nights. And because Oliver was able to jump up on everything, he was able to jump up on my lap. And sometimes it was nice to have a little bit of companionship. But we're getting off the topic yet again. We can clearly see that if you have a cat who meows, if you have a cat in the way, and if you have a cat on the bed, that you would clearly be in my position about hating my wife's cat. But I know what you're thinking. Tony, you don't actually hate your wife's cat. You actually like Oliver. And it was only after your wife being a hemisphere away that you were able to build a relationship that you had never thought possible with an animal. Maybe your relationship isn't having anything to do with transitivity. You are actually enamored with the cat also, even though you would never, ever admit it in front of your wife. You know what I have to say to that? He who rides the tiger often finds it difficult to dismount. Madam Toastmaster.